Hi, thank you for joining me for another Minecraft education lesson. Today we're going to look at setting a translation activity for math, geometry, and it's a pretty cute little activity that I put together. So I set up 3 boards on each side and I put the number of where they're going to start per activity. So you could have 2 groups going on, you could have small groups work together, or you could assign this individually. Now, each board has a shape. I did square to the left, rectangle to the right, and then at the back I did an example board. And the example board says the translation of shapes. The blue rectangle is translated right 3 up 4. Use the yellow blocks to fill in the rectangle in its new position. So this is the example so they can kind of see how it is. I do recommend going over this lesson of how to translate 2D shapes on the grid, reviewing the X and the Y axis before getting started, and use this as an assessment, an exit ticket, or a fun activity after the lesson. So starting over here, the students will work through this, and it's the blue square is translated right by 4. Use the green blocks to fill in this square in its new position. So I put stacks of 4 in here so the students don't have to try to grab an abnormal 4 equals the square, and then that way they can translate it. Over here, it bumps it up 1. They are now going to translate the blue square right 4 and then down 1. And then over here is just going to the max. It's going right 5 and down 5. And they're going to represent their translations with the green blocks. Over here, the rectangle, I did the same thing. The purple rectangle is translated left by 5, so it's a 1 step. Over here, it is translated by 5 and then up 2. So basically they're starting with 1 step, adding to the next step, and then the one over here is just random. This is left by 4 and up 4, and of course you can change this. You can leave notes, put boards up with extra notes, however you want to set this up. This is just an idea for them to be able to demonstrate mastery or understanding of the concept of translation and getting some hands-on activity. Now, when setting this all up, let me get some of this out of my inventory so I can kind of show you the materials. I love colored blocks, and I meant to use more colored blocks, but I got limited. So here the frame is built out of black concrete. The middle is a block of quartz. I like this material because you can see the grid part pretty easily. And then here is just bamboo and signs. And I use dashes and different little things to make the numbers. Originally I had all the numbers down here centered, but I decided to push them to the line they were representing. It's a little harder to do going up, but I figure I would do it with the down. Now, as always, I do have deny blocks all beneath here so students cannot break what I'm working on. However, since I know they are moving and adding stuff to this side of the board, I'm going to break the deny blocks directly in front, starting here, because I don't want them to break that square. So I'm going to break out the deny blocks from here to 8. Can they accidentally break a sign? Yep, they can. But you know what? That is okay. Have you some signs on hand, just in case that does happen. But hopefully they are not using their beautiful left click. They're only using their beautiful right click. And I just broke a bunch of ground. There we go. Fill it in. So now, as a student, they can, and I'll show you what I mean, once I'm out of world builder mode and it's false. Students can now no longer place blocks here or anywhere up there. They cannot accidentally break these blocks. But coming over here, they can add and translate their shapes. And they can break them down if they need to relocate them. And you're going to do that in front of the 4 to 8 on each of these. Oops, let me go back to world builder mode. And that's just so, again, students can edit this board, but directly in front of it and nowhere else. Now, when I built all of these, I did not do these by hand. I used this beautiful structure block. I do recommend using the structure block. I do have a video on how to use them, and I use this map or this world for a demonstration. So I can just copy and paste this over and over and over and over again without me doing it by hand. The only thing I did by hand was the numbers, the example letters over there in each of the boards. Now, had I been thinking about it, I could have included the boards in the chess. I just didn't because I want to reuse that structure over and over. But yeah, this is a quick little activity you can throw together and have students come and test out their translation skills in geometry. And like I said, make this as simple, make it harder, add in more questions. You can make the grids bigger, whatever is easiest for you. But I hope you liked today's activity, and if you have questions, please post them down. If you have recommendations for lessons you would like to see incorporated in Minecraft, put them in the comments. I would love to see what y'all have. Thank you and have a fantastic day.